All right, I'm not going to worry about it. Let's take a look at day 8. Matchsticks. Space on the sleigh is limited this year. This is the second one he's talked about, what languages you can use. So this was the very first advent of code. Almost all programming languages provide operators for these gates, right? So he's saying here, C, JavaScript, Python, whatever. So he's trying to convince you, oh, you don't need to worry about writing it yourself. There's already operators to do it. And even PHP can do it. So what are we doing here? The difference between the number of characters in the code representation of a string literal and the number of characters in the in-memory string itself. This is 2 characters because it's 2 quotes, but the string contains 0 characters. So the difference between them is 2, right? ABC is 5 characters of code, but 3 characters in the string data. AA \quote AA is 10. Right, there's the 6 of those things, and then 7, 8, 9, 10. But the string itself contains 6 A characters and a single escaped quote character. Oh, okay, so we have to parse escapes. All right. The string itself contains 1. Oh, okay, so we just have to parse hex. Okay. So we already have a lines routine. Let's create our, we're clean, right? Source, let's go here, mod, right? This is where we do it. 8. Oh, that was the other thing I want to do. I want to be able to run, but always run the last one by default. So I'm going to change my selector. That was the next thing I wanted to do, was change the selector to say all 1 or last. And by default, we run last. So that means if let OK day is equal to that, then we'll run 1. Otherwise, we'll run all by default. Run 2015, selector, all. If there's no argument, then we'll just run the last one. So let's save that, and that fails. Yep. Because we want to do this here. So we say we say days, let D equals days last unwrap. Great. Run solution D. Types differ in mutability. Of course they do. Oh, we had that problem before. Can I say D? Nope. Not D. Nope. Almost there. I was able to do this here. Oh, do I have to do say this here? What D is? Nope. I was trying to copy this one. So I guess we can't do this days last unwrap. So what we can do is just grab the length -1, right? Days of days len -1. And that gets a star. Len is equal to days len -1. Last. There we go. So now if I run it, it should just run day 7. Yeah. Good. Git status git commit -am by default only run the last day. Cargo run, which is just day 7. Cargo run all, runs them all. And I shouldn't do that because 4 takes forever. And cargo run 4 runs just day 4, which I shouldn't do because day 4 takes forever. Okay. Git status. We're clean and we're ready for nvim mod. There. Okay, now we can put in day 8. do that here, here. And I need, the next thing I need to do, maybe tomorrow or next stream, whenever I do it, is change all the news so they don't actually load the files and things. Right, so now we need to create this file. And we have AOC 2015-08. And that failed because I forgot to rename this guy. So run. Oh, yep, 2000 day 0. Okay, so let's fix that. Good. Okay, so what we're going to do is read the file. Let lines, 4 lines. Lines, vec string. There we go. That's what we need to do. And this is just lines. Use AOC lib, read lines. And lines is just read lines of input / 2015-08.text, which I need to grab. Save 2015-08.text. Move downloads 2015 into input. Git add input, git commit 2015 day 8 input. Okay. Oh, is that fine? Yeah, that was fine. Okay. So running this now gives us warnings that we're not using anything. So for now, what I can just do is return format bang this of self lines len. We can see how many lines there are in the input. So we were able to read in 300 lines. Hopefully that matches. That matches. So we're good. All right. So now we just need to go through each line and calculate the length of each line in bytes and escape out the characters and then subtract. So let mot total equals 0, let mot escaped equals 0 for ln lines. And then this is just going to be total minus escaped. So total plus equals l.len. And now we have to say for c in l.chars. What's the easiest way to do this? Let mot escape equals false. If escape is false, continue. If c is equal to a backslash, then escape is true. Escaped plus equals 1. Oh, right, and then we have to check to see if it's x. So if escape, if c is equal to x, then we want to escape the 2 hex digits as well. All right, the other way to do this would be let v is equal to l.chars.collect. Oh, do I have to say iter first? I forget. Vector char. Okay. Let mot index is equal to 0. So we're going to start there. While index is less than v.len. If v of index is equal to backslash, then we're going to skip. If v of index plus 1 equal to x, then index plus equals 4, else index plus equals 1, actually 3 here, right? And because we're going to do index plus equals 1 here. I guess we could do this. I don't know if that's easier to read. Get rid of all this stuff. And then we want to calculate the number of characters. So we're going to just say escaped plus equals 1. If we're here, we want to increment by 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so that's 4 and 2, or 1. All right, so let's see if we're even close. If VO is X, like that, duh. Okay, 742. That's not the right answer. Of course it's not. I messed something up. So this means we need to do some tests. What's going on? CG test. Which means we have to split out this logic. Fn parse calc string. So we're just going to give it a s of string, and it's going to return a tuple of the total of the two totals. Right? Which is just this code here. And this becomes an s, and then we just return the tuple of s.len, and we need to put escaped. Let mod escaped equals 0, slen, and then escaped. Like that, and then we just say let t and e is equal to calc self calc string, no, AOC 2015 colon, no, underscore 08 colon calc string L. Total plus equals T, escaped plus equals E. It builds. All right, so we should be able to run the tests now. I'm still doing tests here. Fn, oh, test, Fn calculate without escapes. So we should be able to do assert EQ 5.5, and we'll just say AOC 2015 08 calc string, and we'll just say hello to string. Does that work? It does not. Expected ampersand. Okay. That passes. All right. So now we'll test with the other option was an empty string. Let's calculate an empty string. Oh, I see what I'm doing wrong, because this includes quotes. That's right. So this should be this. So there's the first bug. Let's fix that bug first. That might be the only bug, hopefully. Right? So this fails. This should fail. Yep. 7.7. The total's still correct, because all it is the length, but we just need to start from index 1 and go to skip the last one there. Okay, now the test passes. Shall I just try again and see if that's the answer? Oh, that's the right answer. Okay, so that was all we needed, was that one test. All right, that was straightforward. What could part 2 have? although it hasn't, part 2. Now let's go the other way. In addition to finding the number of characters of code, you should now encode each code representation as a new string and find the number of characters of the new encoded representation, including the surrounding double quotes. What? Oh. Your task is to find the total number of characters to represent the newly encoded strings minus the number of characters of code in each original string literal. What? I'm going to pretend I understand this and just start writing code. So quote encodes to this. So we're going to write a test for this. Test fn calc encode blank string. Assert eq and okay, so this is just doing it the other way around. So it's going to be 6 and 2, right? Because we're going to, that's what we need to do, the subtract of the first from the last. Sorry, the last from the first, the second from the first. Okay. AOC 2015-08. Encode string. And we're going to just do, we'll start with the basic, quote, to string. Right, and this should fail because we don't have encode string yet. So let's start with that. Okay, fn encode string, s string, and it's going to return a usize and usize. So we're going to create a new string, s2, string, right? And now we're going to push characters onto it as we walk our way through the string. So for CNS chars match C. If it's a quote, then we're going to say let's do that push a backslash. Right? We push characters, right? And then s2.push C. And then just for now, anything else is just s2.push C. And we'll fix the match statement later as we need to expand it. Right, and then we need to return s.len, no, s2.len and s.len. Oh, right, and then we have to include the original quote and quote. So we're going to start with that. S2.push, we just say string from this, right? And then say, we don't actually need to push the string. We can just say s2len plus 1 for the final quote. I guess we could just add 2, right? There's no reason to do this. Okay, and this comes up with, yes, the right answer. Okay, so now ABC encodes to A backslash quote ABC backslash quote. So that increases from 5 to 9. Test calc, encode basic string. And this is just going to be 9 and originally 5. And this is just be ABC. I think they all passed. It's hard to tell with this output because I have so many tests here. That was the libunit test and then all these 24 tests. So yeah, it says pass right at the top. You know what we can do is just do this and then we can see the top. And then hopefully that'll always be pass. Okay, so now we want to test this one. Encode embedded quote. So we have this, and then this becomes AAA with an embedded quote, and then AAA, and then a final quote. And it's increased to 10 characters, from 10 characters to 16. One fail. We have 14 and 9. One, two, three, four, five. Oh, because the backslash. Oh, right. There. To encode that here, we need to, yeah. And now we're not handling backslashes yet. So let's add that to our match statement here. If we see a backslash, we want to push a backslash followed by the backslash. So that just means this gets a backslash, right? Same thing. And now it passes. Okay, so next one is this X27. So that's where we're going to actually have to do a little, we have to get fancy. Test encode hex value. And this is just going to be backslash followed by X27. And that should be from 6 characters to 11. And this should fail because we don't handle the X's yet. Ooh. Oh, I guess we don't have to handle the X's because this passes right there. All right, so then can we do part 2? Part 2 is let not total equals 0, encoded equals 0 for L in self lines, let TE is equal to AOC 2015 underscore 08 encode string L total plus equals T encoded, which is longer, plus equals E. So then we're going to just return back to the user encoded minus total. Let's see if that works. Of course it panics. Attempt to subtract with overflow. So that means our encoded is smaller. Oh, I have it backwards up here. That's why. Okay, yeah. So this should be encoded and total, like that. 2074. That's the right answer. Okay, so that's nice.